Have you ever woken up in the morning and felt your legs so heavy, as if they no longer wanted to lift you up? Almost like someone quietly tied stones around your ankles, and just getting up to walk to the kitchen became a challenge. Maybe you've thought to yourself, that's just old age. It happens to all of us, but let me pause here for a moment. Because after more than 30 years as a doctor, walking alongside thousands of patients in their 50s, 60s, even 90s, I've realized something: the aches, the heaviness, the swelling. They're not simply fate or a life sentence of aging. They are signals. Your body is whispering, reminding you that it needs to be cared for in a different way, gentler, wiser. I remember one of my patients, Helen, 72 years old. She came to me almost in despair. "Doctor, I can't walk like I used to. My legs swell every afternoon, my joints crack. I think I'm too old to change." I sat down, looked at her for a long moment, and said, "Helen, you are not too old. Your body still has the ability to heal if we just give it a chance. And that chance isn't about complicated surgeries or endless prescriptions. It begins with something far more simple: what you choose to put into your body every day. Have you ever thought about that? That every piece of fruit, every bowl of soup, every sip of water is sending a message to every cell in your body. They can weigh us down, make us more tired, but they can also bring back the lightness, the flexibility we thought we had lost. In Japan, where I had the chance to study a few years ago, I noticed something fascinating. The elderly there, many well into their 80s and even 90s, still stroll lightly through parks, still ride their bikes to the market, still sit laughing with friends over a cup of tea. And I asked myself, what keeps them so strong? The answer isn't just modern medicine, it's in their daily habits, especially the way they eat. For the Japanese, fruit is not just dessert. It's almost like a ritual of life. They choose seasonal fruit, peel it slowly, eat each bite with gratitude. An 85-year-old woman I met in Kyoto told me that every morning she eats just a few slices of crisp persimmon with a cup of green tea. "It's not much, but enough to remind my body that today is still fresh." She said it with a gentle smile. And as I looked at her wrinkled hands, I saw a very different kind of strength, not loud, but enduring. Science also confirms this. As we age, our collagen levels drop significantly. Collagen isn't just what keeps the skin smooth, it's the cushion for our joints, the flexibility of tendons and ligaments, the elasticity of blood vessels. When collagen decreases, joints stiffen, legs and arms swell, blood vessels become fragile. And then a vicious cycle begins: you hurt, so you move less. You move less, so your body grows weaker. But here's the good news: you can intervene. You don't need to do anything extreme, no marathons, no complicated diets. You only need to return to the simple things like the Japanese do. A bowl of miso soup with a few cubes of tofu, a small plate of ripe strawberries, a few slices of papaya in the morning. These things don't just nourish your body, they awaken your spirit. English, I want you to imagine this. Tomorrow morning, instead of rushing with a cup of black coffee and a slice of toast, you sit down, pick up a slice of fruit, and eat it slowly, letting the flavor spread across your mouth. You take a deep breath, and your body receives a new message: I can still be strong. I can still keep moving forward. Have you ever asked yourself, what does my body really need? The answer may not be in the latest pill or an expensive gym membership. It might simply be in a humble bowl of fruit, eaten with care and gratitude. In my years of medicine, I've seen countless transformations begin with small steps like this. One of my patients, a 68-year-old man, was used to strong coffee every morning. I suggested he try switching to green tea and add some fruit. 6 months later, he came back and told me his legs felt lighter, walking was easier, and his mind was clearer. No miracle, just a change in habit. And that's what I want to share with you today. Health doesn't come from something far away, it's built from the small choices you make every day. And age, believe me, is not a sentence. It's simply a new chapter, one where you can live slower, deeper, and healthier. When I encourage my patients to change their eating habits, many often ask, "Doctor, where should I start? There are so many things out there, vitamins, supplements, but I just want something simple, something I can actually do." My answer is always, start with fruit. Because fruit is the easiest gift nature has given us. You know, there's something interesting. Often, the best things for our health are not the complicated ones, but the simple ones we overlook. Like an orange, a handful of grapes, or a few slices of watermelon. I still remember John, a 65-year-old patient. He was a retired engineer, used to a grab whatever his quick lifestyle. His mornings were just coffee and a pastry. I suggested something simple: add one orange to his breakfast every day. At first, he laughed. Doctor, how could one orange make a difference? But he agreed to try. 3 months later, he came back with a completely different smile. My legs feel lighter. And strangely, I don't get as tired in the afternoons anymore. That's the power of vitamin C, not only boosting immunity, but also nourishing the blood vessels, keeping your legs light, reducing swelling. A small orange, yet it opens up a big difference. Or take blueberries, tiny fruits packed with thousands of antioxidants. I often call them the silent bodyguards of your blood vessels, because as we age, our blood vessels become more prone to inflammation and damage. Adding a handful of blueberries to your breakfast is like sending your circulatory system a shield of protection. English, have you ever tasted a fresh blueberry? It's not overly sweet, but light and refreshing, leaving a cool aftertaste. I often tell my patients, eat it slowly, close your eyes, and let that flavor remind you that your body can still feel youthful, that it can still renew itself. And for those hot summer days, I always recommend watermelon. Not just because it's sweet and refreshing, but because it's over 90% water. Older adults often forget to drink enough water, which leads to swelling in the legs and sluggish circulation. A juicy slice of watermelon can replenish fluids, restore minerals, and more importantly, it makes you feel good. I remember Anna, a 70-year-old patient, who once told me, I no longer force myself to drink 8 glasses of water a day. Now, just a bowl of watermelon is enough to make me feel refreshed. You see, fruit doesn't just nourish the body. It gives us a feeling lightness, freshness, as if the body has been cleansed of its heaviness. That's why I often ask my patients, and now I want to ask you, are you ready to begin tomorrow with a small gift for yourself? An orange, a handful of blueberries, or just a few slices of watermelon. Don't underestimate that simplicity, because sometimes it's simplicity that holds the greatest power to change your life. Let me tell you about Linda, 68. She used to struggle with digestion, always feeling heavy and uncomfortable after meals. Instead of rushing to write a prescription, I asked her, do you like papaya? She laughed. I haven't eaten it in years. I always thought it was just an ordinary fruit. But after just a few weeks of adding a slice of papaya each day, she realized her digestion was lighter, and even her legs felt less swollen because her body was absorbing nutrients better. Papaya contains an enzyme called papain. I often call it the silent worker that helps the body digest more easily. And you know, when digestion is healthy, your whole body feels liberated. Sometimes, health is not about what you add, but about what burdens you remove from within. Then there's Michael, 72, who rarely paid attention to fruit. He told me, Doctor, I've eaten apples plenty of times, but I doubt they make a difference. I smiled and said, try it, but treat it like a ritual: 1 apple a day, eaten slowly, savoring every bite. 3 months later, he returned, proudly showing off new walking shoes. My legs don't ache as much. I can walk longer. Maybe you were right, Doctor. An apple isn't just to fill the stomach. It's to keep my legs strong. Indeed, apples are rich in soluble fiber, which helps stabilize blood sugar and lower cholesterol, the key factors in protecting the blood vessels in your legs from damage. Sometimes, the old saying, an apple a day, carries more wisdom than we realize. And then there's kiwi, small, green, yet a natural powerhouse of vitamin C. I often recommend it to patients who bruise easily or have weak blood vessels. Try 1 kiwi a day. A small study once showed that eating kiwi regularly can reduce the risk of blood clots and support healthy circulation. But what I love most isn't the research, it's the smile on my patients' faces when they say, Doctor, I eat kiwi and I feel young again just because its flavor makes me happy. English, you see, fruit is not just food. It's an experience. An apple can remind you that you still have time to enjoy freshness. A slice of papaya can remind you that your body still knows how to heal itself. A kiwi can spark excitement, as if you've just found a touch of green on a gray day. I want you to ask yourself, the last time you ate an apple or tasted a kiwi, did you truly pause to enjoy it, or did you just eat it to get by? If you pause, you'll notice, within the ordinary, a small miracle is quietly happening. Looking back at all the stories I've just shared, from the vitamin C-rich orange, the tiny grapes that protect your blood vessels, to the simple banana packed with potassium, or papaya, apple, kiwi, I realized something. Each fruit not only nourishes the body, but also carries a message. The orange reminds us that sometimes, just a bit of freshness is all we need to regain strength. Grapes teach us about resilience, each tiny piece, accumulating over time, keeping our vessels strong. Bananas teach us about simplicity, how ordinary things can make extraordinary differences. Papaya whispers that our body always knows how to heal, as long as we give it the chance. Apples remind us about consistency, how a small habit can reshape long-term health. And kiwi, it brings youthful joy, affirming that age cannot take away the freshness within us. You see, fruit not only strengthens your legs after 60, but also nourishes your spirit, helping you feel alive and valuable. And the best part, these changes don't require a revolution. They start with something small, the fruit. A slice, a habit. I want you to imagine this. One morning, you wake up, open the window, sunlight fills the room. You walk to the kitchen, peel an orange, and eat in silence. You're not just fueling your legs, but your soul as well. And then, when you walk, climb stairs, or simply bend down to tie your shoes, you'll realize your body still responds, still walks with you. I've worked in this field for over 30 years, and there's one thing I believe more than ever: no one is ever too old to start again. A new habit today can become a priceless gift to yourself in the years ahead. So, I'd like to invite you to try something very simple. Tomorrow, choose one fruit you love most from what I've shared, and make it your small ritual. Treat it as a promise. I will continue to care for myself. I am still strong, and I still have time to live fully. If what I shared today resonates with you, hit subscribe so we can continue this journey together. Because health is not just the body's journey, but also a path to rediscover joy, balance, and meaning. And remember, strong legs aren't just for going farther, but for standing firmer in your own life.